Welcome again, everyone, to the another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, Rick Kidd, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, from the Southern Realms, he's the Lord Skelter himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Not much. Just trying to take it easy, and we got some wrestling news to tackle.
Absolutely. And from Lance Moss TV, he's the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much, just enjoying the holidays.
Yeah, the holidays. What a wonderful time of the year. Bullshit. Sorry.
You'll shoot your eye out.
All right. Well, let's get started to the first and most obvious topic. CM Punk made his return to the WWE at Survivor Series War Games. Now, everyone is asking, will it work out this time? Punk left the WWE on bad terms back in 2014, and he stated more than once that he would never go back to the WWE. Well, I guess that's when the Twitter goes, never say never, Lance.
Yeah, and the best part is I want to bet.
Yeah, you were telling me about that before we went off the air. Wow. Well, I suggest, why don't you tell me what you bought this bet?
Well, James from the Big Easy and I were just bullshitting, and he says, hey, if Punk wins or comes back at Survivor Series, $5. So, I'm watching Survivor Series and everything. I might have had a couple of drinks in me. And I hear, look in my eyes, what do you see? Insta sober. Because I know, I just want to bet.
Yeah. Now back to Punk. Apparently, this was not a Vince McMahon decision. He had no say in this. And I think that's pretty much why why Punk was able to come back to the WWE. Joe, up until a couple of months ago, Vince had no say on what was going on with the company. So I'm guessing McMahon was the one who was blocking CM Punk from coming back.
Yes, and believe it or not, the major hurdle that was we all thought that would never welcome CM Punk back was Triple H. And apparently Triple H and Nick Khan got together and they said, let's bring him in. And again, it makes a lot of sense. Here's a funny little thing. CM Punk debuted for AEW in Chicago. So here's WWE's way of one-upping that. So I'm sure that there are severe conditions in this, like, hey, don't start any trouble. We know your history in AEW. It's no secret. So I'm sure they're really watching him not to cause any issues. And there's already been people in the back who are very etchy about CM Punk being back. So, Rick, Punk is going to be treading on, like you could say, he's going to be treading on glass. Any little thing can start an issue. So he's going to have to be a good boy. And you know what's funny about this? There's no Ace Steel around.
And here's the thing. The Rumble this year is 10 years to the day.
That's correct.
He walked out.
Exactly. So, yeah, they said almost 10 years. But and now you have to wonder exactly what they're going to do with Punk. Because I don't see them giving Punk a title anytime soon. I mean, he'll have title challenges, but I don't see him actually winning a title, Joe. I don't know about you. What's your thoughts?
No, it's too soon to say. They're gonna let him. They're gonna probably put him in some big feuds. Hell, they might even throw him in a feud with Roman Reigns for a little bit, or they might even have him tackle. And if you hear some crunching in the back, that's my big dog. He's chewing on a plastic bottle. So they basically are going to just feed him little opponents here and there. And that's going to kind of keep him busy, but not push him too much in the limelight. I'm sure him and Cody are going to meet eventually. So let's see how this goes. Again, Punk being back, it's more of a money situation because they did. You know what? When Punk showed up on AEW, it was money. It drew numbers. Then he started with his stupidity and they kicked him out. So Punk is a draw. It's just his stupidity gets in the way. So maybe this time, TKO probably says, bring him in. We need to raise this. We need to raise some ratings and make some money. Bring him in. First minute he starts acting up, kick him out.
Well,
I see this happening. And just to show you how petty WWE is, AEW did a show Saturday that just passed in my town. I didn't get a chance to go because it was too soon. I didn't get a chance to get any good tickets. Now WWE's coming to the same arena. That shows you how they're so much competing now.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's not really too shocking, especially now. I mean, I remember like years ago when Vince was in control, where he monopolized certain arenas.
Yeah.
If they wanted to be in an arena like Madison Square Garden or even like the Garden in Boston, that's it. Only us are in there. No other. You couldn't have any other wrestling promotion. But now, of course, times have changed significantly in more ways than one. But I think, sorry, my throat's keeping on going off. Right now, I think when it goes back to CM Punk, CM Punk's a great draw, but I think he's a quick pop. He's great on the mic, always have been. I'll give him that. But he's not that great in the ring. He's okay in the ring, I wouldn't put him as a top star. If he did not have his mic skills, Lance, I don't think Punk would have gotten as far as he did.
Yeah, but then again, there are talkers that can sort of kind of wrestle, and there's wrestlers that can barely kind of cut a promo. Like, I'm sorry, Bret Hart, some of those promos.
Yeah.
But fantastic in the ring.
Exactly. Bret Hart was a phenomenal wrestler in his heyday. But you know what? When he tried to talk, he just didn't. He didn't have that it. It was like, okay, but
he did not translate well when he did a promo. He was basically set in his way. Eventually, the cliches. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. You always got that, and everybody had that. Undertaker rested in peace, and through Austin 316 and all that. But then you look on the other side where you had Roddy Piper. What a great personality. What a great individual. But his wrestling was very mediocre because he didn't need to prove. He didn't need to do anything extravagant. In this case with Punk is again, Rick, I agree with you. A great talker. He knows how to carry that well. And currently, right now, my opinion is that there are no great talkers in WWE. There's an idiot that says, yeah, that's great. Go fucking jerk off in the corner, you fucking moron. There's Cody that talks. Cody's he's a better talker now. There's Terry 3G's over in the YouTube chat room. Hi, Terry. And you're missing all of these great talkers. There's nobody that captivates you. Cody captivates you. Punk will captivate you until his stupidity start coming in and he starts saying stuff that he should not say. So and you got Roman Reigns who's acknowledge me. Yeah, you're great. If it wasn't for your family, you will be still fucking wiping toilets. There's nothing special about everybody in that WWE locker room that translates to let's go and I want to watch your product. You got Jesus Christ fucking Seth Rollins who dances like the Joker. You've got Gunther who looks like a fucking he looks like somebody shitting on his face and it just hardened. So it's the entire roster sucks, so they have to bring these talkers in to captivate the audience. Again, my opinion, because the WWE roster stinks. Over in AEW, you got a few talkers, but everybody's flippity flips. So we'll see how wrestling needs that next big star that's going to stand up and really be that they're going to have to be that Hulk Hogan, that Ric Flair, that Stone Cold, that Undertaker. They need someone like that to be fresh and new, and unfortunately they don't have it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. But again, there still are a lot of fans that get behind other certain wrestlers. Again, I don't watch WWE that much, but I watch, but I can see certain ones, but me, like I said, I'm a huge AEW guy. I always will be an AEW guy. Let's move along.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
gonna move
sorry. No,
along.
apparently the pictures have moved on, so we're gonna just jump down. Um, right now, there are rumors that there will be signing the Rainmaker Okada. I can't pronounce the first name. When he leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling next year. Both the WWE and AEW are interested in signing this multi-time champion. Uh, right now, there are rumors suggesting Okada could be signing with AEW, considering that he's worked with the company in the past. Um, However, right now, there's also a possibility that he might re-sign with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Um, Lance, I'm going to shoot this one over to you. What's your thoughts?
Well, the underdog in this case is WWE because, let's face it, anybody that's been in the business as long as Okada has seen how WWE treats its guy Japanese wrestlers. And I don't think the Rainmaker wants to get treated like that. So I honestly think he's going to wind up majority of his time in AEW and then doing a few matches here and there in Japan.
All right. Joe, over to you.
You know, Okada, he's a good wrestler. I don't think he will fit in the WWE universe. They never really translate well when it comes to Japanese wrestlers. Look how Shinsuke Nakamura, he started real strong and then they lost interest. Look at Asuka, they lost interest after a while. Elo Sky and a couple of these other people. He better fits in AEW where, again, he can go to Japan if he wants. And there's probably going to have a deciding factor in his thing, because if he wants to make extra money, he can fly to Japan. So I think that is going to probably be the cincher for him to sign full time with AEW, and and it's probably a better opportunity there because they can match him with other Japanese style wrestlers. Kenny Omega, possibly Adam Page. A lot of the guys who are there now, they can really get into a good fight with him. So let's see. But I'm making that bet that he's probably going to be with AEW.
That would be my guess. I think if he signs to WWE, he's going to find out there's going to be a huge mistake because he won't. It's not that he won't get paid enough. He might get paid a good check, but he won't be able to wrestle those matches that people want in the style that he wants. WWE has a very specific way about how they wrestle, and strong style Japan wrestlers. We've said it before. These guys hit hard. They fight hard, and WWE is kind of not that. Despite what people
put it like
want.
This: he would hit freaking Seth Rollins. And Becky Lynch will come out and beat the guy up. Why are you beating on my husband? He's a wimp. I'm the man.
All right, let's move along. Right now, MJF is out with an injury. according to reports, MJF put Jay White on the commentator when he put up on a commentator table back during the pay-per-view. The table collapsed. I don't know if you guys remembered
Yeah.
that. That was at Full Gear. And so MJF decided that he wanted to do the flying spot on the elbow anyways because he didn't want to disappoint fans. But that spot caused Max to dislocate his hip and aggravate his shoulder. MJF recently said the MJF showed that he has a torn labrum. MJF is trying to avoid the surgery, but it's not sure. So, but he wants to face Samoa Joe. So at World's End. Now, Joe, I'm going to throw this to you. Right now, MJF, do you think him trying to avoid facing surgery is the right thing to do?
Absolutely not. The moron should have never done that leap in the first place. This is exactly what I keep saying. There's pleasing the fans, pleasing the marks, and there's also putting your body on the line that's going to end your freaking career. Look at that idiot from Top Flight who was out for a while because he wanted to do stupidity moves. If the table broke and you want to do a move, why the hell would you want to do it on the hard floor? You know, that shows you're an idiot. And I love MJF. MJF is one of those classic wrestlers who has the package. He doesn't have to be 6'5", 280 pounds. He has the good build. He has the good weight. He has the proper talk. But I think he had an AEW lapse where he thought, well, everybody else does it. Might as well do this stupidity and put myself on the shelf. You know, I would have just gotten Jay White, throw him back into the ring, roll him back in, and then hit him with the elbow. It's better to land on him in the ring than land on the hard outside where you are going to injure yourself. Now, my big question is, guys, is this a work? Is this a legit injury?
It is a legit injury.
Okay, so with a legit injury, he's going to face Samoa Joe, which we all know is all coordinated and whatnot. But he's going to supposedly meet Samoa Joe, who shouldn't be going easy on him. That where he can aggravate his shoulder, where he can really, really put himself on the shelf for a good year or a couple of months. This is why, to me, when wrestlers do stupidity like this, they say, oh, we're doing it for the fans. Yeah. Are those same fans going to pay when you go to the hospital and you're on the shelf for a couple of months? You know, stupidity. I think he had a mental lapse and just did it just to please a few fans. I find it stupid. He should and now he's going to hold off on surgery? No. Go do your surgery, do a storyline where the devil beats up on Samoa Joe, and they claim that it was MJF, and MJF can say, look, I'm injured. It wasn't me. So I think they should do something like that to get him out of this match and substitute somebody else in there that can give Joe a good match. He needs to rest. He needs to get better and then come back. That's my opinion, guys. Yeah. And now I can breathe.
Well, now he still has a little over 3 weeks away, Lance, for him to be healed or for him to get past this issue with his shoulder.
Yeah, because the World's End is in 24 days.
Exactly.
So, I honestly think with this, we might be hearing a new AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
And you know what? And that's another actually very good point. Let's move along. Joe's favorite wrestler, Mercedes Moné.
Oh, here we go.
Well, there are questions of where she's going to end up next. Some reports saying that she will end up with AEW, while more recent rumors claim that the former Sasha Banks will make her return to the WWE. Now, obviously, when Sasha left, it was a totally different company. Vince was still running it, and he still had a couple of his cronies working there, which clearly she was not happy about. Um, but I'm going to ask you, Lance. I'm going to throw it right to you. What do you think Mercedes is going to go?
Well, and I have reason, some that you already said. Vince is gone. Well, Vince is basically a figurehead now. Johnny Ace is gone, and some of the people that she had a problem with are gone. And Bailey, probably her best friend in the business, has been trying to get her back for the longest damn time. So I think as soon as they can sign, we'll probably see her back at the Rumble. And before we go on, because I know what's coming, it's Joe at skullandsdrum.com.
Well, before we throw it over to Joe, I'm going to ask you one question. Do you think if Mercedes signs with WWE, if she goes back there, will she have to go back under the name Sasha Banks?
Yes.
All right. Joe,
Yeah.
over to you.
Oh God, the only place she should go is to the crack house with her uncle. I don't see the thing about her. I don't see why she's important. I don't see why she's even still in wrestling. You know, the egomaniac herself, and I'm not talking about because of her character. That's how she really is. She is an egotistical bitch who thinks she's better than everybody. That's why she's up with a freaking crackhead of an uncle who only does. The only thing he could do is fucking say, "Hey, yeah, yo, I rap." You know, I rap too. You should see me rapping gifts now for Christmas. the 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 only place this little dumb bitch can be at is at WWE. And right now they do need women workers. They do need that numbers, and they do need that personalities. You know, that's why they brought back the Charlotte Flair. That's why they have Becky. That's why they have Bailey. You know, let's face it, the other girls are great workers. You got, you know, Asuka, you got Elo Sky, you got so many great girls that could move up, but they just don't have that it factor. I'm not saying, you know, Bitchy Banks can do it, but at least she is a name. She's a name that people will want to see, you know, unfortunately. So the best thing, instead of ruining a company like AEW with her presence, we're leaving that to Soraya. You know, this little slut can just might as well go back to WWE and be there. But you know what's funny, Rick? You know, she's now entering a territory where you see how she paints her hair, you see how she tries to do the gimmicks. She's going to run headfirst into Jade Cargill. And that's going to be a battle right there. So obviously, Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné's slutty bitch, is got more talent than Jade, because Jade is still green a little. But I think the appeal factor is more now on Jade, and that's what they need to push for.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jade Cargill. I'm sad that she left, but you know, honestly, I can see why she wanted to go to WWE. The money was there, and it was new opportunities. But I think if Mercedes goes back to the WWE, they're going to make her go back as Sasha Banks. And that will pretty much undo whatever the work that she's done in the past, a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So, honestly, I think that she should stay away from WWE. But, you know what? Money talks first. So, let's move along. 50-year-old WWE Hall of Famer Tammy Sytch was sentenced to 17 years in prison after killing the 75-year-old man in a drunk driving incident back in 2022.
It ain't sunny anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's cloudy, or should I say, it's a typhoon right now.
It's the orange is the new black, is what that is. Sytch pleaded no contest, and then she eventually turned to the victim's family and apologized for her actions. Sytch also stated that she thinks of the victim's family every day, and she hopes for their forgiveness. Um, 17 years, guys. I don't know what that would mean with any kind of probation, uh, but that's kind of a long haul. I think Joe, that should be looking at least 10 years.
Oh, hell no! She murdered someone. Technically, the sentence should have been more. It's you know this is a privileged individual, and again, I've had talks with Sunny. We were going to bring her on the show years ago. She had everything handed to her. She was the most downloaded pinup girl in the WWF back in the 90s. She had a lot of things going for her. She had some sunny days, and for her to fall this far down, Rick, you look at the picture and you go, "Oh my God, who's that overweight rhino of a fucking grandmother?" That's not, and she's younger than me, and she looks like that, and I'm like, "Wow, did you let yourself go?" Prison food must be really good because she definitely is overweight, but you know, I, I think they were too lenient because she didn't learn a couple of times. It now took her to literally kill someone for them to like finally put her away. And that's 17 years prison. There's still 8 years of probation and suspended license. So, let's do the math here. You're talking about 17 years. She will be jail, out of jail, guys, in the 2040s. That's if we're fucking still alive by that time. She's gonna be like she's gonna be so old when how you doing, kids? I'm Sunny. Okay, you're spooky. It's her life is done. She doesn't have any income. She's not gonna have anything going for her. She blew everything, Rick. She's got what she deserved. I hate to say that, but she got what she deserved because you murdered someone. And you murdered a senior citizen and then denied it. Like, oh, no, the proof is there. So, honestly, it's a tragedy that how somebody who had everything handed to her, who became such a star, she's like, her name is next to Elizabeth, Nancy Benoit, which was, Nancy Sullivan Woman, Sensational Sherry, China. She was one of the most popular women back in the day, along with these women. And look where she's fallen now. This is a sad tragedy, but she brung it upon herself. And hopefully, she's not in the cellmate with Wanda getting plucked by a shower brush.
Well, I don't think she's going to be playing plucked by a shower brush, but um, honestly, I do think that this is her rock bottom, and hopefully, whatever happens, I do wish the best for her, and I hope that when she gets out of prison, whenever that is, you know, uh, she turns her life around, and actually she can, only move up and do other things. Lance, your
Rick,
thoughts?
before you even say that, I don't think there's any returning from
I don't
this.
mean from wrestling. I don't mean just.
No, I mean exactly. I don't mean wrestling. Her wrestling career is done.
Oh, obviously, yes.
That's been done for 10 years. This is like her life is over after this. There's nothing left for her to do. Now, I'm sorry, Lance. Go ahead.
Well, honestly, gonna make this short and sweet. Only when she gets out, there ain't gonna be no getting a job at IHOP or Denny's or whatever. There's only one thing she's gonna be able to do, and I don't know how much money she's gonna be able to make doing it. And that is the signing circuit.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, and being a felon, yeah, is not really good for your resume. So you both have very strong points on that factor. All right, let's move along. Now we got more on Drew McIntyre.
All right.
Um, of course, the rumors continue to circle regarding his future. Um, at the end of the Survivor Series War Games, McIntyre stormed out of the back, slammed his locker room, and then eventually left the arena moments later. There were rumors that this was a work. However, in a recent tweet, McIntyre stated that there are a lot of rumors going around about him that are upsetting, but he really didn't say which ones. So right now, we're not really sure what's going on with McIntyre. Again, this is a story that's been going on for several weeks now, Lance.
Yeah, I mean, and he's did kick off Monday Night Raw, so this could be some contract negotiation shit.
All right, Joe. McIntyre's contract is up at the end of the year, and apparently he still hasn't signed anything. This is according to reports.
Yeah, according to reports that we know of, let's face it, McIntyre is still young. He's still good. He's got like that chiseled body. He can go anywhere right now. He could go to AEW now. He could go to Japan now. There's really nothing else. He don't even mention NWA Power and Impact or TNA Wrestling. They couldn't afford what they got right now. Yeah, so I think this is just strong arming TKO. Remember, this is not WWE now making the deal. This is TKO. TKO is the one now working with, Nick Khan of WWE side to secure people. And they're doing cost cutting. So they're probably said, okay, what do you want to do? This is how much you want. Maybe he wants a championship run. That's another thing. So, but it's more about money and an easier schedule. He's proven himself. He's ready to go. So I think I don't think he's going to leave to go to AEW. I think he's just going to wait it out until they come to him and they offer him a deal. Because WWE would be stupid to let this man go, considering they can still have a good run with him with anybody. Him and Cody could have a great run. They could turn him into this, insane Scottish monster who's going to just destroy everybody and laugh about it. Like, destroys definitely Roman Reigns. Let's get Roman Reigns out of the way. Let's destroy him. Let's destroy Cody. Let's destroy all these people and move him into a position that makes big money. They have yet to really combat him. And Rick, every time he's won a title, it's usually fizzled because the first time was during COVID. The second time they cheated and out of it. So he needs a substantiated run. He needs to really cement himself as a top either babyface or heel in the company right now. He doesn't need the Judgment Day. He doesn't need any factions. He needs to be by himself and really take it to the next level. And I think right now he's just going to strong arm his way and keep holding on and dangle that AEW offer in front of them until they the TKO makes a decision.
All right, that sounds like a good idea. Lance, over to you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Drew, like y'all say, I don't see Drew going to Impact or NWA. I'll break it down like this. 35% chance he stays with WWE. 30% going to AEW and another 35% going to New Japan.
All right. Well, he did go to TNA before, when he first left WWE.
Yeah, but that's when they had money.
That's true.
Yeah, when they wasn't giving everybody food stamps. Now they're back to food stamps again.
All right.
But like this, your paycheck is in a glass bottle now, full of pennies, that they have to scrape up every can and bottle from the street just to pay a talent.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about Ronda Rousey. She debuted in Ring of Honor, but apparently this is only a one-time thing. Tony Khan confirmed that report and stated that he hopes to work with Rousey again in the future. Um, you know what, guys? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think for Rousey, this is just her wish dreaming. Okay, I can say I worked in Ring of Honor, but I never saw her as a wrestler. I could never take her serious as a wrestler, even when she was in WWE. Maybe it was the way she was pushed, but I just never took her seriously, Joe.
You know, I liked Ronda. I think Ronda has a lot of talent. She was like pretty much the most known MMA person as in the women's division to come over and go into wrestling. That I think that in itself was the biggest thing that made her who she is. You know, was her wrestling great? No, her wrestling was never great. Now her thing with Ring of Honor, because remember that she was helping out Paige Varia, whatever her name is. Um, I forgot her name, her full name, but it was that other MMA star, the other blonde MMA star. So honestly, I think it was just her way of saying, "Hey, I'm going to help you here." They offered her a good deal. I think that's what it was, and obviously, eventually, if Ronda's really happy. You can see her. She has a farm. She's milking cows. She's doing a lot. So, she's happy with what she's got. So in this case, why not if they offer her some money? Why not just go and get a one-time deal? Maybe one time will be another time. She can control her schedule, and if they're willing to hit her with money to appear once or twice, hey, God bless the woman. And more money in your pocket really helps.
Yeah, and your person referring was not Paige Vazant. It's Maria Fischer.
Thank you, Rick. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
No problem. Uh, so Lance, over to you. Your thoughts?
Well, like you said, I never really thought of her as a wrestler. She's a Olympic judo champion and an MMA star who tried wrestling. So, and honestly got pushed to the moon and fell short. But honestly, if she wants to do little spots here and there, it's putting food on the table. So God bless her.
Absolutely. All right. QT Marshall announced on Twitter that he is parting ways with AEW. QT has been with AEW since the beginning of the company, doing several things both in and out of the ring. QT did not say why he was leaving the company, but he said he was very thankful to Tony Khan and other things during the company. So, apparently, it's not. Some rumors claiming that he may be heading to WWE. Now, I don't know as a trainer, or I don't really see him as a wrestler. QT, I respected some of the things he did outside because he was a coach. He helped production. Maybe WWE just gave him a bigger offer for other things. Lance, your thoughts on this one?
Hang on.
All right, Joe, over to you.
You know what? I can see him as a trainer in the performance center. Since running a school is his forte, I think, honestly, that should be what he looks into. And I think they have already too many backstage promoters or producers that he's not necessary for that. So I think it's more of a trainee position, maybe NXT, maybe the Performance Center. He has trained some successful people in AEW. Maybe that's a way of, maybe WWE needs that. Maybe WWE needs that rising individual who could help train some people. I don't know who they got training now there, but adding QT to that mix really will help boost their roster if they can find someone that can literally train new people or train the current people in NXT how to be better workers.
Yeah. Lance, over to you.
Okay. Sorry about it, Eric, but I was looking something up about QT here. I've heard people say, "Oh, he'll be the next big thing in WWE." Okay, two things. One, he does not have the physique for that.
Yeah. No.
And two, he's damn near 40. So possible, but highly fucking unlikely. At best, he'd be lower mid card, honestly. But his best bet would be have Cody mention something to somebody's ear and get him a job in training.
That was my thought, is he would be, as Joe pointed out, the performance center. That would make the most sense. I mean, he runs his own school, so
Yeah.
unless he's using, he could even be going back to that. But
Yeah.
Right now, who knows? But I wish him the best. All right. WWE Shop is advertising several shirts for the UFC Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock. This stirred up a bunch of rumors on the possibility of Shamrock returning to the WWE. Now, there's a possibility that there's this could be some sort of a Legends deal, but as of right now, there's no confirmation as a Shamrock returning to the company. Now, we know the Royal Rumble is coming up in a couple of months, excuse me. So, could he be a part of that? Maybe. Do I see him coming back as a full-time wrestler? I find that highly unlikely, Joe.
Yeah, I don't even see him coming back as a Rumble. Have you seen Ken Shamrock lately?
No,
He's not the same Ken Shamrock that we all know. He's a lot older. His physique is not as great as he used to be. He's obviously, maybe still trained somewhat, but it's not like he's a fluent worker. And I think the star luster that he had is gone. People, if you put, let's say, if you put him in a class and you say, okay, who would you rather see return into a Royal Rumble setting? I'd rather have Kurt Angle return, than Ken Shamrock. It's just, he just doesn't captivate anybody. And at this point, he's good for maybe an appearance, like maybe Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. But, yeah, that's it. I don't see anything besides that. He should not be put in a situation where he can injure himself or others in a Royal Rumble.
All right, Lance, so what do you?
Well, from what I've seen, Ken is still in beast shape. So I could see him do a quick in and out at the Rumble and then go into the Hall of Fame later that year. Yeah, then again, I am a Shamrock mark.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
never say in and out around Soraya.
Well, no, I know
that's
that.
Joe, that's a different platform.
Yeah, Shamrock is. I don't think he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. I know he's in the UFC Hall of Fame, but I wasn't sure about the WWE.
That does say something though, because there for a while, Shamrock and the company that owned UFC had a problem doing business with each other. So if that's all, if they've squashed that, this could mean he could come back for the Rumble and Hall of Fame in WWE.
Yeah. All right. Well, this pretty much wraps up our edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I know, Joe, that you like to go the whole hour. What do you guys think about tonight's card?
Yeah, let's see. Wait a minute. You just said the magic word. Let's see here. He just said we can usually go the full hour. Let's see how the fuck we got news. Let's see here. Let's see what kind of news we got. Here. Let's see here.
Well, we know tonight on Dynamite that Christian and Edge will face each other for the TNT Championship.
Oh, God.
Don't sound so
You know,
enthusiastic.
yeah, I know. You know what? Yeah, that's gonna be fucking great. You got freaking Mad Mountain Shaggy taking on his little. Thank you, Lance. His little buddy, you know, who has a fucking dinosaur in his corner in Luchasaurus. And I'd rather see Nick's
No,
mom.
it's Retribution now, or what the fuck is his new name? That Christian couldn't even remember.
I could care less. All I care about is his mom.
Eh.
You know, who cares about Nick, whatever the fuck your name is? You know, go back to school, you fucking jackass. Nobody cares for you. Let's see your mom make it. Put her on OnlyFans. Then I will care.
She's on OnlyFans.
Oh, then definitely I want to see her. That's the only person I care about in this mixed company of Shaggy, fucking Scooby, and Dinolicious, and fucking little Nick. You know, that whole scenario just sucks. You know, it's just insane. I would like to say, what about Swerve Strickland, who's got impressive wins, who's starting to move up? We got Dominic Mysterio, who's already his ratings numbers are starting to go down because everybody's tired of him.
Well, he was supposed to defend his championship as the NXT title, but unfortunately, Wes Lee got injured, had suffered a back injury, and he's going to be out for 8 to 12 months. So I guess now, surprisingly, Dragon Lee will be taking his place. No relation, just they both happen to say have the same last name. So, I mean, I think honestly the whole Judgment Day concept is really kind of it's really starting to get dull real fast. I try to watch it and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we see the mommy poppy thing. As sexy as Rhea Ripley is, enough is enough. Let's move on. But honestly, I'll be happy when this whole group breaks up, if you ask me, Lance.
Yeah, and the cracks are starting to show. So.
Yeah, exactly. During a recent shoot interview, Hall of Famer Tully Blanchard revealed that nobody in AEW locker room ever asked him or Arn Anderson for advice. Now, Joe, these are two highly regarded legendary wrestlers, and nobody asked them for advice or talked to them to kind of pick their brain. You would figure they'd be the first ones to.
Yeah, I saw that. This shows me again how today's wrestlers have no fucking concept of professional wrestling. Why not take the opportunity to learn from these legendary guys? Okay, yes, wrestling is different. It evolved. It went from ground-based technical skills. It went to showmanship with the Hulkamania era. You had the Road Warriors. You had a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, but wrestling it's still a thing that if you can go up to a legendary person and ask them for advice, why the fuck not? And sitting there, you have Arn and Tully, one of the greatest tag teams members and single wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. None of these idiots could have gone up to them and say, hey, you know what? Can you help me? Can you do this? Can you give me advice? When people don't do that, that means wrestling is more of flippity flips and no promo skills. And eventually you're going to see people getting tired of that format. Look at back in the 80s and 90s. Not only could people talk, but they performed in the ring. They didn't need all the flippity flips, flying elbows. Macho did one or two elbows and that was it. Okay, he did the axe handle on the outside, and he did the elbow drop from the top rope. That was it. That was your match. It was over with. You know, you know. So it just boggles my mind. You also have Dean Malenko. You have many other talents in the back. None of these idiots could have taught them that. You know, Jesus Christ, man, what is wrong with these workers today?
I don't know, and that was again when I read the article, I could not believe it. I was like actually in shock. Um, Lance, your thoughts about this whole situation?
Well, it proves one thing. There's a lot of the people on that roster are stupid because MJF realized something that none of the rest of them did, because MJF works a lot of old school wrestling theory into modern day wrestling. And in that company, he's the most over guy. So the intelligent wrestlers in that company would do the same and just do little different spins on it, but they didn't. So, well, good luck getting over.
Yeah. Well, one last topic I do want to cover. Let's talk about Ric Flair. We know that Ric Flair signed with AEW, and apparently, um, they're getting profits from just by his new Woo Energy drink. Usually, as we all know, when a big name signs with a wrestling promotion, they're the one who get paid. But according to Tony Khan, Ric Flair is practically paying them, and this is pretty much what he had to say. We're not paying Ric Flair. Ric Flair is essentially paying us. We're getting paid by the Woo Energy drink for all of his appearances, so we're collecting revenue from them. Joe, you're the business guy. What do your thoughts about this?
So they're making a whole $1.50 out of the deal. Hey, good for them. Um, I guess that is good news because you're not paying for him, and that way you're not stuck with him and his stupidity. You know, honestly, I think this probably helps them folks, really well. But Woo Energy drink, come on, it's gonna make you take off your clothes and elbow drop your shirt on the ring. You know, hey, you know what? If it pays bills and they don't have to pay for him, that's great. That's a great business move. And if it flops, you didn't lose anything. So good deal.
Well, Flair is only there until Sting retires, and that's in like next year's Full Gear, if I'm not mistaken, Lance.
Revolution
Revolution,
and that's in March.
And that's in March. So it's a short spurt. So it wouldn't be I think it's a great idea if they're going to be making money. Especially if they get up draws, because Ric Flair, whether you love him or hate him, he is still a draw in his old age. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we are going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank.
Now we can go home.
For those of you who are listening, please take the chance and hit the like and subscribe to HWR. If you want to hear more of our Hardcore Wrestling Rants, check us out over on our Facebook page under the group section, Wrestling Rants, where we place the latest news, rumors, and much, much more. Lance, you're over at Lance Moss TV. Tell everybody about it.
Well, right now we're on a little bit of a holiday break till the start of next year, but you can go and check out a bunch of Redneck Gourmet episodes and guitar builds. It's at Lance Moss TV.
All right, Joe. Thanks. And Joe, you're over at Skeldon Realms. What is going on over that this week?
You know what? Actually, I've just kind of been slowing down a bit. I took some time off from actually doing these Cauldrons Realm streams, and I have been working on my virtual wrestling promotion, which is World Wrestling Organization Online. No, it's not Woo, it's just WWO Online. And we are gearing up for our December 16th show that will be on Twitch. Just do the hashtag WWO Live, and you'll see that. Pretty much that builds up. It is it is a virtual wrestling federation where people do streamers meets wrestlers. They do a whole big setup with promos and everything. Adds a little realism to the video game format. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So definitely check us out. And again, go to WWO Live on Twitch. That's where we are. Or you can check us out also on Facebook and YouTube. So I think that's it, Rick.
All right.
I don't need to rant anymore. So Lance says my email again.
JoeXplosion.com.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
But by the way, everybody, before we actually go, let's give a big props for Rick. You know, he's been putting this show together for so many years, and all of us have been enjoying his times. You know, thank you, Rick, for, you know, we know you weren't feeling well last time, so we're here to support you, and we appreciate all your time for HWR.
Well, again, I think, you know, Lance and, you know, Joe, you've even been with us for several years. We've been here since, like, 2012, if I'm not mistaken, and we've had some friends come, and we have had friends go, and but for the most part, you know what, it's been fun doing it. We've talked to a lot of wrestlers in the past. I'd like to get that going again, but right now, you know, money's tight, so I can't make any promises. So right now, we're just going to sit there and talk about wrestling, and that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, you can always spend that 50 cents calling Sunny on the phone.
Yeah,
you know,
no
she's
shit.
not like she's being booked anywhere except for prison.
All right, for the Hardcore Crew, I'm your hardcore host saying, we'll see you when we see you.
Buy this shirt! It makes a great gift for Christmas.